Hey all, welcome to Whiskey Wednesdays with Dylan and Nick. I'm Dylan, that's Nick.
What's going on?
And this is our special guest, Troy Harfant.
Hello everybody.
Oh, you got a...
Yeah, got a sticky.
Today's review is going to be on Weller Special Reserve. And then we got a couple things we're going to get into later on in the show. You're going to find out how to win a free bottle of Weller. And yeah, so Troy, you want to give us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got into bourbon?
Yeah, my name's Troy. A real good friend of mine introduced me to the bourbon world a couple years ago, and took me a long time to figure out if I liked the spicier stuff, the sweeter stuff. What was out there kind of coming at me too fast, but takes a lot of practice to learn your bourbon, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got their own opinions on each bourbon, but that's the fun of trying them all, man. Every one of them are different, got something unique about them, so keeps you always chasing something, you know.
Well, they use that chasing the dragon. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe not so much
Yeah.
to that extent, but you're looking for something that's better than the last
That's
thing you
right.
had, right?
That's
Right, yeah.
You got so many favorites by the time you get done going through. You know, you like so many different ones for, like I say, all the different reasons. This one's fruitier, or this one's smoother. It's got a short finish, long finish, and just goes on and on. But
What is your favorite?
I think my all-time favorite is probably a Knob Creek. The Knob Creek seems to have a good balance for me as far as spice and the sweetness. You know, I get that real sweet taste of.
The 100 proof?
Yeah, usually the 120. I like
The 120?
Yeah,
He's
you get into the
higher proof
private
guy.
selects and
Okay.
whatnot, and
Yeah, it's good bourbon.
yeah, so it's that would be my everyday bourbon, I guess, if I drank it every day. So when a couple of the Wellers are right behind it, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
It is.
You want to get right into it, and we'll get a pour going. And
Sure.
so normally your Wellers will have a aluminum screw top. Mine did not work after I opened it, so I replaced mine with a cork top. You can do that too if you choose to. It kind of gives it a little bit more sophisticated look. So if you hear the pop,
So
That's
much more
not standard.
satisfying. But actually, Weller used to be a bottom shelf bourbon. That's why they had the screw cap. But in recent years, it's gotten a lot more popular, so it's kind of a mid to high shelf now. Because since Pappy's been impossible to find, and this has the same mash bill, people have been going after this instead.
so Troy's going to learn us real quick.
Oh Lord, I don't know about that. I'll give it a shot.
He's got some knowledge to drop, so go ahead, Troy.
You know, it doesn't give an age statement on your Weller products, but it's said to be that the Special Reserve is a 7-year-old.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
You know, of course, it's a wheated bourbon, and your wheated bourbons are going to be much more mellow on the nose and the taste, smooth. Don't have the spice and the long lingering sting of the rye. So that's one of the reasons I like it. And I recently tried it on ice for the first time a month or two ago, and this hot weather, that ice cube actually makes
Oh,
a
yeah.
difference. So
Yeah.
trying mine on ice tonight, and to each his own. So good bourbon, great price point on it. If you're lucky enough to find it in the store, you know, you get that, picking that up usually between 20 and 23 bucks a bottle, and
Yeah. Well-
you know, you can't buy them fast enough, so it's not every day you can walk in the store and find them. It's getting a little more prevalent than it was 6 or 8 months ago, but
For sure.
still got to chase it around a little bit. So
You know, it's flowing heavy in our area.
right,
now.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
heavy.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is
Great for
There's
us.
2 or 3 spots that I can usually stumble into a bottle if I need to
Oh, yeah.
replenish my
Well,
stock. So
you know, Nick went and got one today.
Yeah, I picked
Oh,
one up
nice.
today.
You know, the bourbon drops are
Luckily.
Mondays and Thursdays. Right?
Yeah. Luckily,
So, that's
yeah.
good.
Well, people are going more after the antique
Yeah.
than this. That's why this was kind of left over. I got the last bottle they had.
So there is actually 4 different kinds of Weller. You have Weller Special Reserve, Weller Antique 107, you have the Weller 12 year, and then the Weller CYPB.
right, yep.
And
And they're just getting ready to release a foolproof blue label.
oh, okay, I did see that. Yeah, so there will
And
be
that-
5.
I believe it actually got released in part of the country back in June or first of the month. So hopefully it'll be soon to get here.
Yeah. You know what I just noticed about this bottle is it says the delicate bourbon with hints of caramel and honey. So they're kind of giving you what to expect in this bottle. I've yet to see that on another
Right.
one.
And when I see the caramel or the vanilla, the honey, you're
for
going to
sure.
get into the
Your
sweeter
traditional,
bourbon.
bourbon.
It's a lot of people that don't necessarily know about bourbon, but maybe try to have a social drink. It's a great mix. It's a great, neat pour or on ice. It's a great all-around bourbon, man.
It is.
Very tasty.
From the price point to the taste, it's all good.
And you can just smell it even from here, just
Right.
kind of coming out of the glass.
Yeah.
And it smells amazing over here. So we'll go ahead and kind of get into this.
All right.
I like doing the legs, right? We got to do that. Yeah, that's a nice, thick, fat one coming down right there. Then the little ones are trying to form.
Myself, I like to get my nose more involved probably than anything. I like to run it around a few times and pick up that sweetness, and it just seems to get you primed up for, like,
Sure.
say, what to expect and what's coming. But
This is a nice gold color.
yeah,
Nice amber. Yeah.
there's 7
like a-
years. Some of the old time bourbon guys and the guys that really got the knowledge about it, they say the sweet spot. A lot of guys claim the sweet spot on bourbon here is in that 7 to 9 range, and you got guys that say that 9 to 11. But been my experience, I tend to like the things that fall between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
As one I'm going to drink more often. If I'll keep the stuff that maybe I got an 11-year-old or a 13-year-old or something sitting around, and I'll just leave it out there, and that's for special occasions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's a little bit more expensive.
it's a little more expensive. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what's Stag? What's the age statement on that? I think I want to say it's a higher age.
Are you on George T. Stagg or
Yeah,
Junior?
George T.
George T.
Stagg.
Stagg. I tell you what, that's probably,
At least 10.
I'm going to say that's maybe a 10, 11-year-old. I'm thinking 11 maybe.
That is my number one bourbon.
That is probably one of my, through a friend of mine there in the heart of bourbon country down around Louisville. Has turned me on to the George T. Stagg a few times, and I'm telling you what, that's probably the most complex bourbon that I've had to date. What freaked me out about it is it was a fresh bottle we opened up, so we opened it up and probably gave it 10 or 15 minutes to air off there, and poured it, had a pretty decent pour there, and got about halfway through my pour and stepped outside to get some air, make a phone call, come back in. I grabbed that same pour and finished it off, and I couldn't believe the fruit taste that came through that. It was probably one of the sweeter. I just got a lot of berries on that, and I'm not a guy that goes by the taste and the taste notes. I don't have no idea what the actual tasting notes are on George T. Stagg, but for me, it's all about the berries, and it worked well for
It's
me.
awesome.
It's an amazing, amazing bourbon. I hope we can locate a bottle and kind of bring it on here, because I
Yeah.
think that that's one that people need to not only hear about, but also see someone experience it.
Right.
Yeah. I still have yet to try it.
It's
So
an amazing bourbon.
They're out there, but unfortunately, a lot of these liquor stores on that stuff that's harder to find, the stuff out of the antique collection and whatnot, they price gouge it so bad it's not affordable
Yeah.
for a working guy.
plus they only really supply it to restaurants and bars and stuff.
Right, and like I say, I can walk into 2 or 3 different stores. I do a little traveling for work, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to maybe make a few drive-bys there in Tennessee, Alabama, Texas. So I'm always hoping to stumble into something. Well, I actually ran into the George T. Stagg on one of my recent trips,
Dang.
and it's $4.99 a bottle.
Oh my gosh.
I thought,
Oh
she
my
said,
gosh.
She says, "Well, if you're paying cash, I can give you a little bit better deal." I said, "I don't think you can give me a good deal." I mean, it's
Jeez.
retail. If you're fortunate enough to get it retail, which you almost got to know someone through the distribution side of it or whatever to get your hands on it actually. And retail, it's actually like $189 bourbon.
Yeah,
And that's an expensive bourbon, and but the price is just all over the board on anything you drink. Some of the stuff that's common to us isn't common in other parts of the state, which we've been selling things as well. So some people are willing to pay that extra money. But if I was the distillery and I was one pumping that juice out, and I don't know
wow.
why you can't sell it, and I come into your store and you got it 2, 3, maybe even 4 times retail, I'm probably not going to send any back to your store.
That's what I
Right.
would do, yeah.
I put my bourbon out there to be sold, not a dust collector.
Right.
And it's a little aggravating, bourbon hunting, but it's part of it. But I guess it makes that much funner when you get it
Sure.
at something close to retail,
Yeah.
something you can tolerate.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. We're gonna go ahead and hop into the nose on this, boys, and see what we get. Right away, you notice it's just a very sweet smelling
Very
honey.
sweet, yep.
Like it's very strong in honey. It smells just the exact way that it tastes, I would say. some bourbons you smell it and you don't get the same
Right,
characteristics
right.
that you get on the taste.
Correct.
And this one smells the way that you would imagine that it would taste.
It's like a dark brown sugar. It's very
Yeah.
sweet.
And they claim that the tint on your bourbon, the darkness comes from the age in the barrel.
Yeah.
And if you go out and you are shopping bourbon and you're comparing them sitting side by side with one another on shelves, there's an obvious difference. But a lot of places don't privy you to the age statement. You kind
Right.
of maybe throw you a narrow window on somewhere between here and there, and it's just interesting to go out and see and try it. But I got so convinced that I needed to buy dark bourbons, I passed over some pretty decent bourbons that just were a little lighter in color because I didn't have enough knowledge yet.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
For sure.
I mean, with that ice cube that I put in there and give that just a little bit of chill to that glass,
Man.
that goes
It's a good
down just
bourbon.
about as easy as that water right there.
It's this. I think regardless, Weller goes down. This
Yeah,
one,
it's gonna go
this
correct.
This one goes down so easy. I had a little trouble with the Antique 107.
Is that right?
Yeah, when Nick gave it to me, I
I
had
like
a
the
little
antique.
trouble.
It's
Yeah,
But-
I want to say I like the antique, but the odd thing is I actually done a side by side here a while back one day, and I told myself I think I like the 107 better, but I kept pouring the Special Reserve. So I've noticed I did an empty bottle count, and I was like, I'm about 3-1. I'm going through, I'll
Yeah.
go through 3 Special Reserves to 1 antique, and I don't know if I think that's a little more special. I got myself a little
Right,
confused
yeah.
on it,
It's more
but-
rare, so you think it's better.
Right, and maybe
but
that's
the
the
best way
case,
to know
yeah.
is do a comparison and do like
Yeah.
a blind taste
Right,
test or something.
blind would probably be the way to go. I've done it
Yeah.
side by side, so I'll do one blind and see where that leads me, I guess.
Right.
The finish on this is nice and long, and you can taste
But
it
it's
for a little
it's
bit.
easy. You don't have
Oh,
to
yeah,
burn.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
No,
it's just
no.
a little something there that
Yeah.
just hangs around for a minute. But it's
You-
definitely
You got some nice aftertaste.
it's
just
sweet from the
lingers.
start to the finish.
Even though it's a wheat, but I get some spices.
Yeah, it's not aggressive. Some bourbons are like very aggressive in your face, hot from start to finish.
Almost give you a bitter beer face.
Yeah.
When you take
Yeah.
a shot, you get a little
You might like it,
freaky out there a little bit.
but your face says you don't, right? You're like, oh god, your
Yeah,
face is like, oh.
right. You definitely gotta. So I don't know about that. You gotta back up for a second and collect your thoughts.
Well, this is good, and what I like about it is you just get prominent. The honey flavor is there. A little butterscotch, not overly butterscotchy, but it's there. And then you get a nice oak flavor, which I think is imperative in bourbon. You need to have that
Yeah, you do,
little
yeah.
oaky flavor.
Right.
And what I like about this is it's another Buffalo Trace product.
Right.
And that's
go
the
wrong.
best distillery, 100% hands down.
I would agree with that as well. It seems to be my go-tos or my favorites are all coming out of that,
Yeah.
out of the Buffalo Trace, and
Eagle
I haven't done a
Rare.
tour down there, but that's probably one on my hit list. I went down and done a little shopping
Yep.
and got a little. I think we ran into some E.H. Taylor and some Blanton's both that
Yep.
day. So
Nick snagged me that bottle from down. He got me a bottle of E.H. Taylor down there.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I took a trip down there, and that's all I could grab. They didn't have Blanton's.
We'll see tomorrow. We'll figure out kind of.
I do have a
Not
spare
tomorrow,
bottle of
but
Blanton's
Friday.
laying around.
Next
Oh,
Friday.
you do?
I stumbled into an extra one. I got
Oh.
one that's about half or it's probably a 60% bottle I have left, and I actually have one that's not open yet. So
Nice.
I may decide to part with that, maybe do some trade. We'll see, I guess.
You let me know what you want to do to part with that, and I might
Alright.
hook it up.
I got you.
Because I've been looking. If I can't find it on Friday, I'm calling you
Yeah, maybe.
Are you going this Friday or next Friday?
this Friday. So
Oh.
yeah,
Never mind.
I'll be there. We'll do the secondary tasting, then we'll do the third tasting and see where we're at. And then we'll do what we always do, which is our shout outs. And I'm sure you want to give your shout outs in the video. And, we'll talk about a little bit more what we're expecting to happen on the show from this point forward. And I'd like to get you back on here with a little bit more complex bourbons as well.
Sure, yeah. I stumbled into a Yippee-Ki-Yay on my last trip out of
Yeah.
town, so I haven't opened it up, so maybe that's something we can get into. That's It's a little bit different. It's a Utah bourbon, it's not, don't come out of Kentucky, so
That's
it's a little
interesting.
different thing,
I've heard it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, a lot of good
very good.
reviews on it. A lot of people say it's pretty decent, and then so I seen it out there at retail, so I grabbed it up.
If I
Last time I seen it, it was 100 and I think the cheapest I found it was like 119, so I actually found it for less than $90. So
That's good.
So I better grab it.
You know
Which
what
was
they-
kind of cool because I went into the liquor store later on that night down in Florida, and a lady had it in there,
Yeah.
but it was $1.99 a bottle.
Damn.
they had Yippee-Ki-Yay up at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Really?
Not on the shelf, it was all gone, but it was, I think, like $60 for a bottle.
Yeah, you should have grabbed that.
It was gone.
Yeah, I would say if
it's the
you
same
run
thing.
across it at that, I mean, if you can do it, you might want to grab as many as you can
Oh, yeah.
because those are great trading bait. You might stumble into perhaps somebody's got an extra Weller 12 laying around or something like that you hadn't had your hands on, and I don't care as long as I'm happy on my end of the trade. I don't care if I make a few bucks or lose a few
For
bucks.
sure.
you know?
Right.
I heard that the Weller 12 is unimpressive. From multiple people actually saying that they wish that they would have just bought the green label.
Gotcha.
Which I'm interested to try, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do like a battle of the Wellers.
I don't know how we're gonna grab
Yeah,
us
that's
a bottle
gonna be
of
hard.
Yeah,
12.
if we can get to the 3 or 4 kinds of it, or if we could actually be fortunate enough to stumble into the 5th, but finding that new release is probably gonna be a little tough.
Yeah.
But that would probably be a good night.
That'd be an episode to have
Yep.
multiple people on here just freaking going at it and trying to see what we're getting. Maybe not as heavy of pours, but definitely having just multiple judgments on that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get that second sip out of here. The more you let it sit, the more you get a little bit. It is honey, but you also get like a maple syrup kind of smell
Yeah.
coming off from there.
I get cinnamon on like the 3rd and 4th taste every time. Like a ground cinnamon.
Back to the Weller and the weeded bourbon. Most of your Kentucky bourbons going around a 20 to 35% rye content, and with the weeded bourbons, they just basically switch that rye out with
There's
the
no
weed.
rye at all, yeah.
It just makes it that he just throws that extra layer of sweetness in there, and when you got that higher rye, I don't know what the mash bills consist of. And, Four Roses is one company that probably breaks down their mash bills better than anybody, because every one they have 10 different recipes they do, which are all high rye recipes. But they tell you what the percentage is in each one, whether it's an EOSV or OESK or whatever the case. Very good at breaking it down, but I know that a lot of companies try to hold that. They're kind of tight on their info with the mash bill, breaking it down exactly like they won't even disclose what the mash bill exactly is on this,
Yeah.
So.
Well, it is the same mash bill as Pappy, so of course they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that would be an
But for
issue.
those folks that maybe are just trying to get into drinking a little bit of bourbon and exploring the world, if you want to take it easier on your taste and save the throat and lips a little bit, maybe start off with the weeded bourbon is probably a great idea.
Yes,
one.
definitely. This one, and actually, if you can't find this, Larceny's a good comparison.
Yeah, and Larceny's a Heaven Hill product, but it is very good. There's 2 different versions of Larceny. There's the 92, and then there's the barrel proof, which
Right.
you can only find at certain stores. I've heard up in Middletown. You can locate the barrel proof Larceny very easily. So I want to take a trip up there as well to try and see if I can't get that. Anything else? The finish on this is great. We still have another tasting of it.
Sure.
But the tasting is amazing. We'll go ahead and kind of get into how you guys can win this bottle of Weller that we have sitting over here. Troy, you can actually win this too.
Excellent. I hope I
You
do.
have the,
Right here.
opportunity. That's one full bottle, 750.
Unopened.
Of, unopened Weller. And the way that you can do this
Pick it up
is
today.
to like, comment, and share our video if you're watching off from Facebook, and then subscribe and like it on YouTube. And heck, leave us a comment if you want. Leaving your comment doesn't hurt. We might actually see that and take that into consideration. We are just trying to get our word out there. We're like the gospel, man. We want to spread it and spread it and spread it and get it out there.
Maybe a thing you can do here on a future episode, maybe not too far in the future, is maybe open up a phone line, take a few calls.
Yeah, you know what?
Little input, or someone's opinion, or they may have some questions.
For sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
we can answer for
We
them.
have my phone number.
That's when we
listed
can
on the
stream.
Facebook
We have
page.
to go live to do that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
We have my phone number is on the Facebook page, which is Whiskey Wednesdays with Dylan and Nick. You can find that on Facebook. you will be able to find the Weller link in our
Description.
in the description. You'll also find it on the on the Facebook channel. I'll be trying to tag Troy. I keep trying to do it, but it won't let me. If you have any questions for him, we'll probably have him back on. So if you have questions for him, you want to know what he does for a living, you want to know anything about his life, just let us know. You want to know anything about us, we're here. So you'll get that answer the next week, if not before then. Nick just opened up his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, actually, it'll be our side channel. So I'll post like a couple videos a week on stuff that we probably won't review here. So if you're not into whiskey, I'll review pretty much everything else. Like I did, what'd I do? It's not coming to me.
Did you say you did a beer?
No, I did a flavored whiskey. Southern Comfort. I did Southern Comfort 100 proof, which is very sweet. I'll link my channel in the description below to check out.
Let's go ahead and knock out this third tasting, see what we can get on the final spot. But we really need to get into the notes of this gentleman.
It's not complex. There's cinnamon. There is a hint of apple pie.
It's very sweet. It's
honey.
Yeah,
like
caramel is definitely in there.
Caramel.
Like it says on the label,
Yeah.
honey and caramel are
Dark
very
brown
prominent
sugar.
in this.
Yeah, just
It's almost a mouth-watering sweetness with that. You know, you get that, you can knock that out like that. You sit there for a minute, you know, your mouth actually waters a little bit. Oozing with this. I think
very
honey's
sweet.
probably what I primarily pick up on that.
Yes, for sure.
that's the number. Yeah, definitely.
Who do you picture drinking something like this? And when do you picture drinking it? This is kind of something
You
we
know,
do
if you got a
on the
buddy
show.
that's on the fence, or you know, he's always want to know why you're drinking bourbon and he's drinking beer, and you know, like, well, man, just try it. You know, just try it. You know, I think that's the person you might want to hit with one of the Weller products, and I don't think it's going to give them.
It's a good intro.
You know,
bourbon.
I guess when I was younger, I spent so many years drinking the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, we would get a bottle. We were kids, so we get a bottle of Jack Daniels and
And then just
rip shots and just knock
Right,
the bottle
shoot
back
it.
until it was empty, and you
Right.
know, hopefully it made it through the night. And if not, someone else probably didn't make it through the night either. But so I was actually turned off of liquor in general for quite a while. I mean, I enjoy like a 7 and 7 or something like that with dinner
Yeah.
maybe. But when this friend of mine actually, when he laid out like 4 or 5 different bourbons for me to try, we actually had some like E.H. Taylor uncut, you know, some
Dang.
barrel proof stuff. You know, he's a high roller when it comes to the bourbon, and
Would that be JD?
it would be JD. Yep, and hopefully you guys, I think he'd be up for a show here next week.
Oh,
We'll get
yeah,
it
he's
together,
on my
and,
list of people to call.
He's,
Yeah.
you know, that'd be a good night. Maybe open up the phone lines with him, because he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to bourbon. You know, he's met a lot of master distillers, and you know,
awesome.
he can right into the conversation with them, and you know, he's on what they're doing. You know,
For sure.
And he usually packs a pretty good bourbon bag with him. Usually some things that your working folks like us don't have laying
Yeah,
around on
yeah.
our shelves. You know, so privileged to couple nice pours, and like I say, he's a great guy. His knowledge is unlimited when it comes to bourbon, so we'll try him out. But you know, once he started to just show me how complex and how every one was just absolutely so different, I just fell in love with trying to play the game. You know, just unfortunately
Sure.
my wallet doesn't allow me to play as much as I'd like, but you know, we'll get there.
Isn't that all of us?
We'll
Yeah.
get there.
I'm sure everyone watching on YouTube, if they're watching a review, they're trying to figure out if they're trying to buy it or not. So.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a bottle I like and drinking it as fast as I can, the ones I like, you know, I'm trying to make them stick around a little longer.
Right, right.
You know, if I can run in a deal on something or find something, I got a few on my hit list. If I run into them, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to have to grab them.
Yeah, I keep a list on my phone at all times in case,
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, is that on my list? It is.
I've been chasing a $40 bottle of EH or Elmer T.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my take on who I see drinking this, and also, you know, when is the best time to drink this. I'd like to break it down into 4 seasons: summer, winter, fall, and spring, of course. This would be one that is drank by, I would say, anybody from the common man up to the most experienced bourbon drinker. It's so good. It's not complex, but it's gonna dazzle you in the way that it's smooth. The best time that I would see drinking this though would be in the summer because it's just so light. It's
Yeah.
very friendly bourbon. It's not going to knock you on your ass. I mean, if you drink the whole bottle, of course it will, but as far as having one or two, you'll be fine. It's very, very friendly on the nose. It's friendly on the palate. It's friendly on the gut. So that's who I have, kind of who I see drinking this. What about yourself, Nick?
So, like you said, I like to drink in the summer. So I was at my sister's graduation party, which is held outside.
Yeah,
Very hot day.
I was there too.
You were there. And I had the big bottle of Weller, the 175. And me and him were drinking it throughout the whole day. Finished about a little more than half of it. And did not feel bad the next day. Very good bourbon. I mean, it's just
Super friendly.
super friendly. It's almost like drinking, I don't know, I can compare it to like I don't know what I can compare it to. It's just like drinking honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, like I say, the spring and summertime, it's just a great drink. You're just not going to have a hot, fiery spice, and I guess that's what we
Right.
all look for in the winter.
I get like no
fire,
bite.
so maybe we'll get into the rise a little deeper as the leaves change, you know?
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good idea for the rest of the summer series would be to just stick to something that you probably would drink in the
Right.
summertime, and then we'll kind of start hitting the heavier, more
During the fall and winter months.
and head
yeah.
into, and then once
The
spring
barrel
comes
proofs,
around, start
yeah.
bringing it back around
Yeah, I got several bottles that we can try on those.
for sure.
Yeah.
Troy, you got shout outs you want to do?
No, I guess maybe a couple here. I guess I'd like to say thanks to JD for introducing me to the game of bourbon, and talk to these fellas and you and see if we can't get something together and get you on the show here in the next couple weeks. Your knowledge would be appreciated, I'm sure. So
100%.
other than that, hopefully the guys will have me back on the show, and I can hopefully come up with some more information for you or help you out any way I can. So any questions or comments or concerns, man, hit it up on the page or give one of us a phone call, and we'll try to get you the info that you're looking for.
For sure. I'm gonna start out hitting the first one, the first wicket, right? That's Cassandra. Thanks for watching. If you do ever do, probably don't. But that's okay, because I know that you know I'm out here doing this. I'm gonna shout out to all the poor boys. This is actually one of the poor boys for the Ohio chapter. Of course, always shout out to Pete, D-Guard, Kyle, Cody, and who am I feel like I'm missing somebody. You have some people.
I actually forgot. A little shout out to JD there, but the Kentucky chapter of Poor Boys, by all means, it's a good group of guys. I've met a few of them. I've been privileged to sit down and drink some of the juice with them and have a go around at the table. A good bunch of guys, and maybe we'll be able to get a few of the Kentucky boys with the Ohio boys and see if we can't grow this club a little bit. And anybody that's interested in maybe getting together once or twice a month with a few of us and sitting down and having a private tasting, or everybody bring a bottle and everybody pass it around and discuss it. I think that'd be a great idea, and hopefully there's a few of you got some interest, and if you do, definitely hit one of us up.
For sure. And then I have a couple more. Thank you to the Tri-State Bourbon aficionados for allowing me to post in the group these goofy videos that we do. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys liking the links and checking us out and maybe commenting. I'm sure you guys have probably sent out a couple. And that's about it. You know, you guys are awesome. Well, maybe the Greater Bourbon Society of Cincinnati as well. I don't know if any of you guys are checking these out, but
yeah, those guys, they actually put the word out. They keep you informed of what's out and about, what's available around town. And
yeah, that's
unfortunately,
nice.
I've taken off on a few of those, and there's been a goose chase because it's going before I get there. But
For sure.
at least they throw the information out there. So
Right, that's nice.
I definitely appreciate their page and the time they put into it to keep the public informed.
for sure.
So there's a good heads up on the shout out there. That was much deserved.
And anybody else who watches, we appreciate you guys. I know we might not show it because we don't know your names. We don't know who's watching these videos. We can't prove you do, but we appreciate you guys watching and trying to get those views up for us. Nick, do you have
Yeah, I have a few. Sarah, first and foremost, shout out to you. The rest of the family, Mike, Kev, Papa, any of my other friends that may be watching. Appreciate the support. And if you have any suggestions of what we should review next, just let us know in the comments below.
For sure. Next week we are doing an American Outlaw 4th of July special for you guys. So Jack Daniel's has been long considered not a true bourbon, even though it's made in America. It's a Tennessee whiskey.
Tennessee whiskey.
Right?
Yeah.
But by foreign standards, it would be considered a bourbon because it is American, and all
Right.
American whiskeys are considered bourbon. It
Right.
meets every wicket up until you get
A charcoal
to,
filter.
Yes. That, well,
Yeah, that's a big,
That's
big
one.
changer there.
and then number 2 is how they char the barrels with their sugar maple. So that creates another issue with their stuff. But we're calling it an American Outlaw Bourbon. And you guys will see the poster coming up for that here soon. It's going to be a nice wanted poster. It's going to be very cool. You guys are going to like it a lot. The week after, we're following with Weller Antique 107. And I think the week we're going to announce the winner for the bottle of Weller will be the Weller Special Reserve versus the Antique 107 episode. So we're giving you guys kind of the update on what's happening over the next couple weeks, just so you know if you want to tune in or not.
And if you have an opinion of your favorite between the Special Reserve or the 107, feel free to let us know.
Heck yeah, put it in the comments.
Yep.
I've got nothing else. If you guys don't, I think we're good to start, shutting this down and
right.
drinking some other bourbon and seeing where we're going for the night.
Nice pour. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
and,
appreciate having me.
glad to do it anytime.
Awesome.
So don't take much of a reason for me to come up with an excuse to go have a drink.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's all
sure.
good. So excellent. So I don't know, guys. We try this nice, smooth, sweet wheat. Maybe for shits and giggles here, we do us a high rye. Maybe we'll just pull it barrel proof and see what you think about it.
Send it.
See how it differentiates.
Awesome, man. Sounds good.
Sound all right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Have a good evening.
Peace.
See you guys.